Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about the vibe for the 2022 war in Europe, specifically from the context of the American generations of Gen Z and millennials, and how they relate to Asia, to how they relate to Asians and how they relate to Russians. All right, this is a little bit on the deep end of the pool. I'm going to go forward here. And this is me sharing an observation, right? I don't think I have this idea fully crafted yet. I'm sharing my observation and inviting correction and inviting your opinion and inviting knowledge, okay? Let's get into it. All right, it's kind of an intellectual exercise here. All right, so here's my opinion, right? So I've seen something, so we're in this we're in this post-February 2022 world. There's a war in Europe right now in 2022, started by Vladimir Putin. He's absolutely savagely attacking constantly Ukraine, right? And we're all hoping that his actual target is Ukraine and not a lot more than Ukraine. So, that's where we are right now, right? So Vladimir Putin is the clear villain in all this, right? So, I think most Americans, including me, want to understand, where do the Russian people fit in this, right? Are they a nation that's held hostage by this dictator, or are they a nation that is signing off on what he's doing here? And then the conversation changes if we figure that out, right? Right now, I think most Americans are like, oh no, most Americans are like, oh, trust and believe. We know what it's like to elect the wrong person, right? We did it for 4 years. It looks like you guys did it for 20, but we definitely have some sympathy for your situation, right? Come on, Trump, President Trump, excuse me. All right, so we're in this world now, and I think there's going to be incredible strain for all American people, except maybe, for all American people in interacting with Russian culture going forward, right? We're going to have, because there's going to be this memory attached to it, right? And we want to manage this, right? Because we don't want to take the sins of Vladimir Putin and unfairly attach them to the Russian people, right? So we have this thing we need to navigate, right? And I've been thinking about this, and I'm like, wait a second. One of the things is, I have 4 kids. I've 2 of them are raised. 2 of them are still in the in the oven. I have a senior, a daughter who's a senior in high school, and I have a son who is a freshman in high school, right? Yeah, freshman in high school. So so I've raised 2, and I'm working on finishing 2 others, right? And so I pay high attention to, and they are millennials and Gen Zs, right? And so I'm really hyper focused on, understanding millennials and Gen Zs, because I want to have a strong, robust, fun, joyous relationship with every one of my children, right? And the more you understand that generation, the better relationship you can have with them, right? So I pay very close attention, and I can tell you something right now, okay? Not just my kids, but I see this all over. I see evidence of this everywhere. And I invite you to co-sign this or reject it. Let me know what your experience is. But Gen Z and millennials absolutely love Asian culture. They love Asian culture. I'll tick it off, okay? First of all, my millennial son loves anime. I like anime. Star Blazers, Naruto, everything that Disney brought over. Long list, right? Anime is awesome, right? So, and my oldest son absolutely loves anime. All my other kids have a tremendous amount of goodwill toward anime. My youngest daughter, right? Oh, and anime is Japanese, okay? And boy, when it comes to, American millennials and American Gen Zs loving Japanese animation, anime, boy, is it deep, right? Every single one of my kids really digs anime. Actually, I'll say it clearly, far more than they have any interest in scripted American television or movies. It's not even close, okay? My youngest daughter, she is way into Japanese music. One of her favorite artists is Hatsune Miku. She is a Vocaloid. She's not even a real person. She is a created singer. She has literally hundreds of songs. My daughter is an absolute wrecker when it comes to playing her rhythm games. She's like really good at it. So all of this is is relevant, right? So my youngest daughter absolutely loves, really has a strong love for Japanese, specifically for Japanese music artists. Okay, let's keep it going. There's a lot here, man. There's a lot here. All right, the next one is, and so that's just Japan. My youngest daughter also is a huge fan of K-pop, South Korean dance music. Right? It's like my opinion of K-pop is it's like somebody discovered Debbie Gibson, put it today, and made it an industry, and attached the best dancing in the world, bar none, to it. It's truly incredible. Like, I've never seen anything like it, right? So my daughter absolutely loves K-pop. And by the way, I'm using my kids as examples, right? But I think this is across the America. This is really at the 51% in America. My take. Let me know if you think I'm wrong there, okay? Then, none of my kids have any interest in Chinese culture, but I have noticed something recently that makes me think that at minimum Gen Z, I haven't seen a lot of millennials into this, but Gen Z absolutely loves bubble tea, and not Japanese bubble tea, but Chinese bubble tea, Chinese drinks. So I go to this bubble tea shop, and it is absolutely packed with, I'd say 1 out of 10 people that go in there are not Gen Z. Like, it is just swamped with Gen Zs, right? And they're all dropping $10, $20, $30 every time they go into this place, getting drinks for them and all their friends. It's I've never seen anything like it, right? So American Gen Zs and American millennials are massively into Asian culture and have a ton of goodwill for it. All right, let's talk about American millennials and American Gen Zs and their relationship to Russian culture. It seems to be non-existent. Never in my life have I ever heard any Gen Z or any millennial say, "Let's go get borscht," right? Like, and honestly, I can name you 10 Japanese. I can absolutely name 10 Japanese music stars, right? Idols. I can name you 10 K-pop bands, right? Red Velvet and BTS and Twice, and if you paid me $1,000 cash, I could not tell you. And I only know those because my kids are into them, right? If you paid me $1,000, I could not list a single Russian singer or band. All right? American Gen Zs and millennials do not vibe with Russian food, Russian music, and definitely not Russian dance, right? Or any type of drinks, right? Like, even like, I guess the most iconic is vodka, but like, again, I don't really see a lot of for Gen Zs, it'd probably be impossible for them to enjoy vodka. But for millennials, that most of them are old enough to enjoy vodka, and it is definitely not a thing. So this could be a major, major problem going forward. And I think this is really worth exploring, right? Because here's the thing. We had a war in Korea. We had a war. We have gone right up against, and we have some definite, like, kinetic activity history with Japan. America definitely has some, right? All that's been washed away. The Gen Zs and the millennials do not care about our history with any Asian country. Any, right? They're like, we like the drinks, we like the dance, we like the music, we like the anime, all of it. We can't get enough, right? Even like, I even see some fashion, a lot of American fashion goes over to Japan, but a ton of American fashion goes over to Korea, right? Oh, that's another thing. A lot of Gen Zs and millennials are starting to use Korean skin products, and take really good care of their skin, which is like a Korean which is an emerging Korean industry. They're probably the best in the world at skincare, right? And they focus on it and understand it better than I think any country on the planet, right? And so it's really incredible. And so there's a ton of goodwill with our younger generations attached to Asian culture. Oh, I should say something here. Every time I've said Asian culture in this video, I have meant Japan, China, and Korea, okay? Specifically South Korea. I don't think I need to explain the North Korea issue, right? So now, I know some people attach India to Asia, right? I don't understand that, right? I don't think it's wrong, I just don't understand it. So when I've been using the word Asian, I mean Japan, China, and Korea, okay? Please correct me if I don't understand that, or if there's a better term for the countries that I chose. And please also definitely explain to me how India fits into being an Asian country. I don't understand it yet. It's a lacuna within my knowledge. Apologies. I definitely invite correction on that, okay? All right, so that's what I mean when I say Asian within this. So basically, this really needs to be thought of very, very carefully, right? Because we have kinetic activity history with Korea, with Japan. I'm not sure America has kinetic activity history that can even be remembered, even by me, with China, right? And everything was just washed under, was just swept away for Japan and Korea. And it's pretty much forgotten by American millennials and American Gen Zs, right? Why do American millennials and Gen Zs have literally zero interest and have had zero interest effectively, right? Effectively for Russian culture, right? And the reason why I'm asking is, man, if there's any way we could get to a point where Americans actually appreciated Russian culture, it would be really useful right now, like incredibly useful right now, if we could get to a point where Americans actually had a genuine interest in virtually anything Russian, right? So I'm just kind of like, how can we get this complete wash away, this complete forgiveness, this complete, not even forgiveness, this complete water under the bridge approach to kinetic activity between Japan and Korea, and this very strong goodwill that the vast majority of American millennials and American Gen Zs have for Asian culture. What do you think explains that, and what explains that American Gen Zs and American millennials generally have about zero interest in Russian culture? What is the difference, right? And the reason why I'm asking is, can we heal some wounds here? Can we heal some cultural wounds between the American people and the Russian people? Because we need to. Our enemy is Vladimir Putin. Our enemy is not the Russian people. I'm convinced of that. Right? I feel very strongly about this, that one of the things we need to make sure we don't do is that we drag the Russian people just for what Vladimir Putin did. Our only enemy is Vladimir Putin. He's the only one we need to make sure is defeated. All right? All that's my opinion. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.